All right, so let's get started. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to let the council of light come through. You can close your eyes as well if you'd like. You can lay down, you can sit up straight, you can write and journal, you can put on headphones. It's up to you. Whatever you feel most comfortable doing. Okay, here we go. Greetings, greetings. Greetings to you all. It is so nice to be with you once again here in this sweet, divine, loving space on your earth plane. We are the Council of Light, and we come to you from a space in the ether ever, ever so bright. We are light beings through and through. We are a loving consciousness vibration, and we are always here to serve you. We serve humanity at large, and we come through this woman here in her voice box specifically. We work with large groups of you in communities such as this one, and we serve humanity in smaller, more intimate, private settings, such as session work that this woman offers. And our task is to support you all on the earth plane as you grow in your lives evolutionarily, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. You all come into your lives as human babies, and you all have lessons and stumbling blocks and joys and sorrows and elations and knowings that occur throughout your time in your human form. And then when you are ready to expire your physical shells, you go back into soul form. Think of us as energetic buddies, aunties, uncles, grandparents, wisdom givers, mentors, and the like. We're always here to provide a warm, comforting guide. So today, we would like to express our gratitude for sharing space in this way. And we would also like to say that there are many of you who have been asking as of late about what happens when spirit enters into human and spirit form. We hear your questions. You wonder a lot about your own spiritual nature and your own beingness. It makes sense to you that you have an ego. It makes sense to you that you have physicalness. And yet it also makes sense to you that you have a spiritual nature that is more esoteric, that you can't quite put your thumb on the pulse of sometimes. Although when we say that, we must acknowledge that many of you in this particular community here are meditators and spiritual practitioners already on a path of openness and beingness and knowingness. So we speak to the public at large, and we speak to you too. And you in this group here listening to our words as we share them live with you are somewhat advanced through this knowledge of your soul selves. For you do have both a soul and an ego physical shell, and they are separate. And your soul knows its ultimate path, its ultimate joys, its ultimate rewards that it seeks throughout your lifetime. And then your ego helps or hinders, depending on how it's working, to support you in moving forward over and over and over again. When you are in your physical form, you spend a lifetime connecting, sensing, seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, all those visceral things with your senses there on that earth plane. You keep returning to the earth over and over and over again because it's such an amazing place, full of so much sensory perception. There's color, there's sound, there's texture, there's pleasure, there's temperature fluctuation. There's all kinds of visceral experiences that you have there on that earth plane. And yet when you move back into your soul body, into what most of you human beings call your ghostly form, we in the light here don't refer to you as that, but you all know yourselves as that. It's a colloquialism. When you return to your soul form, you are back in your original state Well, what is that? Your original state is a vibrational frequency. Your original state is an etheric frequency. Your original state is pure vibrational loving thought form. You have no boundary, you have no structure, you have no physicality in your soul form. And yet you take the shape of a human being to present yourselves to people when you want to communicate with them, because that's what you know yourself as when you are in your physical form. Let's take a moment to give you an example. You have a physical form as you, the human, while you are alive in your everyday waking body, and your grandparent or your great-grandparent transpires into their soul form. They now have become a vibrational frequency of light and love. There is no shape. They are only an energetic vibration. And yet for them to make themselves known to you, they present themselves as the physical entity that you once knew when they come to you in your thought forms, in your dream state, in your meditative state, in your awareness of smelling them, and you suddenly picture them in your mind's eye. You, as the human on the earth plane, picture them in their human form as well. You don't necessarily see them in their vibrational form. When you feel the presence of a loved one in spirit, or you smell the presence of a loved one in spirit, you are feeling and smelling them from their vibrational frequency. In your mind's eye, when you see them in their physical form as they used to be represented when they were human on that earth plane, you are seeing the manifestation of them coming together in a way in their spiritual place that represents themselves to you in your everyday way. When spirit goes back into its spirit form, it goes back into a space of having to remember, having to relearn, and sometimes having to learn for the first time how to cross the threshold, traversing from your 3D dense energetic pea soup energy of the earth plane into the more light, vibrationally open space of spirit. Some human beings, when they cross over into their spirit form, do not have a sense of being able to do this so well. And so those of you on the earth plane who are having a hard time connecting with your loved ones may think that it is always you that doesn't know how to open and receive and connect and feel that they are with you. But most of the time, that is not actually the whole story. Most of the time, what is happening is that your human being that is crossed over into their spiritual form is relearning, going to school in spirit, if you will, to be able to figure out how to communicate with you in ways that you can understand them. It does take some time, and then for some spirit, it is easier than others. For some spirit, it is easier for them to make connection with someone such as the woman whose voice box we are coming through here now, today, because she is so open and skilled with connecting with spiritual presence in a divine way. She's always open with her brainwave frequency. It is a psychic muscle that has been developed and is easy to pick up the frequencies of spirit. And so she very easily can relay to other human beings on that earth plane the messages from their loved ones. Now, some of you already know how to communicate with your loved ones. Some of you already know how to communicate with your spirit guides, with your divine tribe, with your angels, with your divine feminine and your divine masculine, and all of your saints and deities and beings, all of your animal kingdom and your nature kingdom and the elemental kingdom. And we applaud you for that. Some others of you are on a journey of working on that. It doesn't matter where you are. There is no right and there is no wrong, for you are all in the right place at the right time throughout your entire lives, over and over and over again. Sometimes it might feel squeezed. Sometimes it might feel like there is insurmountable suffering or sorrow or trauma or pain, but it is always something that is aligned for you to experience and move through. We don't say that to tell you that you are justified in having trauma or pain received. We understand that that is a painful frequency, and we don't think that human beings should be subjected to unnecessary trials and tribulations. But in your lifetimes, as you come into your human forms over and over and over again, we say that you have all kinds of work, all kinds of schooling, all kinds of lessons that you learn from, patterns that you repeat that grow you into more divine frequency, patterns that you repeat that get you stuck and leave you frustrated. And you need support from your somatic practitioners and your mind therapy practitioners to release and move forward from. Patterns that you repeat and you choose not to work on in this particular lifetime. It's all okay. It all runs the gamut. We here in our light body form are a group of universal loving consciousness, individual entities that are in some sort of soul form, but we are very high vibrational frequency, way beyond humanity. Not in a judgmental, we are greater than thou, but in a way to understand that you are in your own space and we are here to support you and move forward with loving kindness and grace. And there are so many hundreds of us that we colloquially call ourselves the Council of Light. We speak to you in one voice all the time, but we come to you as a we. We always have a universal message each time we speak with you. And this one is to answer some of your questions that you've been wondering about in the last several weeks. And we wanted to address them here today. Let us also share with you that it is a great joy for us to come to you in this live way, because for most of the time that we've been coming through this voice box of this woman here, we were coming to your technology devices in a pre-recorded way, and it was not as easy to formulate the harmonization and the restructuring of energetic fields to be open with capacities flowing in that pre-recorded state, as it is much easier for us to do so now with all of you sitting here with us in this way. If you think about your experiences when you go to see a music concert, some of you might see it live in the audience and you will feel the energetic frequency much more viscerally, much more acutely. And others of you will watch it on the TV. You will still experience shift and joy and wonderful, pleasing, pleasant, pleasurable experience when you watch it on the TV, but you can understand what we mean when we say that it is always more acute when you are in that live space. Yes, you know what we are talking about. Well, the same is true for this kind of experience here. For those of you who are listening to our words in this live format, when we speak to you now, we have the opportunity to reach your vibrational energy capacity in a way that is much more precise and acute than if you were to listen to us in a pre-recorded fashion. It doesn't mean that you can't listen to us in a pre-recorded fashion or after the fact, in a post-recorded fashion, maybe we should call this, and that you won't receive benefit from our vibrational words, for you will. But it's just nice for you to gather together in this space of harmony and loving vibration and connection as a humanity with a shared goal of consciousness and mindfulness. And while you are doing this kind of work, this breathing in and out, this attention to your relaxation of your physical beingness, this attention to the calming of the thought forms, the pausing of the stressors, it's always nice for you to be able to be with us because we can begin to play. Sometimes we take the opportunity to open your energetic motherboards and dust them, or rewire them, or give you an upgrade from the device point something to the next device point something higher. We use your technological frequency system of reference to share with you how we work with your physicality, your energetic presence, your spiritual mindedness, your emotional beingness. Some of you might be aware right now, as we are speaking, of an energetic shifting that has occurred, a buzzing or a tingling or an expansiveness. Some of you with your feet planted firmly on the ground might be noticing a draining away, a releasing, a flowing out quality of energy. While we work with you and share these messages of loving kindness with you, there is always a restorative and healing property, like a soothing balm, like a massage, like a healing poultice that is applied to your energetic capacity. It's just the way that it works. It is the law of universal energetic harmonic frequency. You've all been in experiences before where you have felt very dense, very dark, very disgruntled, sad, traumatic, angry, etc., etc., etc. energies. And you might notice that you were in a happy mood, and then you came up against disgruntledness, and suddenly you found yourself being disgruntled as well. That vibration is one of heaviness, and it can be like a magnet to pull you in and make you become heavy as well. Well, the opposite is actually true here too. We come from this place in the universe that is light, that is expansive, that is effervescent, that is open and vibrationally pure with its harmonic frequency of light and love and consciousness. And so when you rest in the quality of listening to our words, whether it be in a live format or a post-recorded format or a pre-recorded format, however you wish to call it, you too become pulled into that lightness, pulled into that effervescence, pulled into that vibrationally pure frequency that cleanses and clears and harmonizes your beingness. Think of this as a dusting. Think of this as a rewiring. Think of this as a clearing of the clutter experience. You all are very familiar with that when you do your other forms of wellness practice for yourselves. There is not one right way, and there is not one singular way that humanity should be connecting to your authenticity day after day after day. Be wary of the other human beings on the earth plane who try to tell you that their way is the only way, and if you don't do it their way, you are doing it wrong. For that is simply not true. Humanity has so much creativity and wonderment and joy inside your mental mind capacities that you've come up with hundreds of thousands of rituals, processes, routines, practices, prayers, mantras, body movements in a specific rhythmic way, scripts for how to eat foods in a specific way, and the like, that there is not one way that is best for all of the billions of you universally together on that earth plane. So we always like to remind you that as you become more connected as humans through your ability to talk to each other easily, effortlessly, live, across your globe, when all of you are in physically different places, that you should look upon your experiences as humans on that earth plane with wonderment and joy and excitement, because you get to learn, you get to test, you get to try, you get to experience new things all the time. Never before have you ever had as much opportunity to be as open and connected as you are now. You are so easily accessible, and the abilities that you have at your fingertips to learn and to grow and to seek knowledge and to know the newness of everything going on all the time around you can be quite overwhelming. We understand. Your humanity at large is going through a bubble expansion. You've megaphoned your connection with each other through your online and video and live technological presences, and you're figuring out how to catch up to that in some aspects of your humanity. You are figuring out how to support yourselves in balancing with the overwhelm and the precise focus on what it is you'd like to know. As a colloquial humanity, we see that you are not quite there yet. You are in a polarity place where you are either in the pool, diving to the deep end of all the openness and all the consciousness and all the beingness and all the technology-ness, or you have completely decided to pull yourselves out and reside away from it. Humanity as a colloquial you has not figured out how to swim amongst all the messaging and all the video and all the sharing and still remain in your tried and true. Now, let us also highlight very clearly that some of you here in this intimate circle, this energetic group of divine beings that you are, actually do have those qualities, and we commend you for that. We don't mean to put pressure on anyone to say that you need to be in a space of being in your centeredness amidst all the technological openness. If you're not there yet, it's okay. You have a lifetime to learn. You have a lifetime to practice. And we're here with you every step of the way. We would like to now do a quick exercise with you by inviting you to place a hand on your chest. Some of you know this as the respiratory center. Some of you know this as the heart frequency center. It is both. Take a nice deep breath into this heart respiratory space. Feel the chest expanding. Feel the lungs filling with air. Feel loving consciousness radiating through the heart. And when you exhale, exhale it out from this space in front of you. Take another breath into your respiratory heart center frequency space. Exhale it out from that space around you, wherever you are residing now. Feel as it wraps around your shoulders and wraps around to the back of your shoulder blades. Feel as it wraps up over your neck and head. Feel as it washes down and wraps around your torso and heads down through the thighs and the legs and under the feet, zipping up the back to create a loving, energetic frequency bubble space. Take a nice deep breath into the heart, respiratory center again. Feel your loving, energetic bubble as you exhale, begin to expand around you wherever you are resting. This is your space that you can claim to be in all the time. You can claim this space as your own, and you can come back to this process over and over and over again to support yourselves in being in a place of energetic neutrality, calmness, centeredness, and grace for yourselves. You might notice as you move through your day-to-day tasks that you feel like you are out of this space. And all you need to do is put your hand on your respiratory heart center and take some breaths in and visualize the energy as it expands out around you and zips around you like a bubble. You can certainly come back and listen to our words again if you wish to practice. But it's always an opportunity to be useful as a tool for those times in your lives when you are stressed or disgruntled or sad or knocked off your centeredness, even ever so slightly. So, thank you very much. You may remove your hands. Your breathing, if it has not already, can return to its natural state of inhalation and exhalation. We have so enjoyed our time here with you today, and we want to say thank you. It's just a privilege and a joy to be able to come to speak with you as humanity. You are wonderfully diverse. You are wonderfully creative. And you are wonderfully moving forward on your evolutionary continuums into a state of bliss at all times. And we bear witness to this. We walk side by side with you. We support you. We guide you and we hold your hand if you would like that kind of support. We don't force ourselves upon humanity. That is not our way. For that would be a control issue that is of another topic entirely. And we won't go there today. But we are a loving consciousness, a warm embrace, a hug, a kiss to the emotional heart, a squeeze, a pat on the back, and a thumbs up reminding you, job well done. You are managing. You are succeeding in that trial called life. And you are doing well in the grand scheme of things. We will take a pause now and say our goodbyes, and we look forward to being able to come back and speak with you live in this group format the next time Laura has on the calendar to serve you. Thank you so much for being here today. We will wish you great blessings and say namaste, adieu, and goodbye for now. Oh my goodness gracious, so lovely. If you haven't started to take some deep breaths and stretch, go ahead and do so now. That was really interesting, wasn't it? Sharing about spirit and sharing about technology and how we're all in the bubble. What's fascinating to me is that over the last 2 weeks in my everyday waking life, I have gone about my business, getting my massage, going to the hair salon, those kinds of things. And spirit has been coming through me for whatever practitioner has been working with me in that one-on-one setting. And folks have had a lot of questions about being able to communicate with their loved ones. So it's interesting to me on my earthbound Laura ego humanness level that the Council of Light have addressed some of those questions. I answered them with those folks on an individual level, but maybe that was a precursor to their the Council of Light's message that wanted to come through today. Because when there is a current of 2 or 3 people in my personal life that have the same theme, it usually means that there is something larger going on with our human consciousness. So I always just take it in stride.